The problem we have here is simply a public order problem in France, and it really needs the French authorities to be dealing with this. It's ridiculous that in the modern age, in a West European country and town, that we can't safely and easily get our goods through the city. It's causing enormous cost to the British businesses we represent to try and avoid this problem.
So you don't hold out much hope for this meeting between the Mayor of Calais and MPs tomorrow?
Well, we want any support we can get, but we don't really see that this is a British problem to solve. This is a problem of public order on the streets in France, and this is something that they need to deal with in a more radical fashion. We have drivers every day going through here who are feeling harassed and threatened and are having to try and protect their trucks from being boarded, and it's not an acceptable situation.
Not only that, the drivers, if they are found to have immigrants on board, they get fined, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah. It's insult to injury that if you do come across and it's then found that someone has snuck their way on board, that the driver is then fined. And that means drivers on the other side are being put in the position of trying to enforce the law by trying to prevent some of these immigrants trying to get on board their vehicles, which then means them putting themselves in harm's way.
Well, what kind of preventative measures are drivers taking? Are they just going to different ports, or are they doing other things?
Well, on the ground, they're doing things like trying to chase people away from their vehicles. They're having to get out of the cab and chase people off, and that's not a safe thing to be doing. Our members are having to install extra security devices on it, but they're having to change all their plans, like putting in place rules like no stopping allowed within 100 miles of Calais. And yes, some members have chosen to use alternative ports altogether, and all of this just adds cost to moving goods about.
Why don't you think the French authorities, from your point of view, are doing enough to combat this?
I think they just haven't put enough resource into this, and they haven't put enough commitment into dealing with the scale of the problem. This is a problem on French soil that they need to be dealing with.
But if the problem means that the immigrants make it onto lorries and get into Britain, that solves it for them, doesn't it?
Well, that's not acceptable for anyone in the British authorities, certainly, to have migrants coming in who shouldn't be. I mean, if these people are asylum seekers, they've already reached a Western European country. They're presumably safe from whatever issue they were originally fleeing. And if it's economic migration, again, they're in a Western European country. There are lots of complicated issues around the migrant issue, and we're not a political organisation. We're interested in the practical. What we want to be able to do is to drive our trucks safely and securely around city streets. Our drivers need to be able to concentrate on the important and difficult job of driving their vehicles safely. The last thing they need is having to try and fend off people trying to climb on board their trucks.